If you didn't know, I've definitely been uploading a lot of Luke Cage content recently, and in this video I'm going to be compiling my best fights, which is pretty much every fight I've done with Luke that felt presentable for YouTube, and I'm just going to show you a compilation of a bunch of cool stuff Luke has done in BGs, because there's a lot of meta matchups that he takes very well. Starting, of course, with this Sasquatch. This is a rank 3 Sasquatch we're taking with only a rank 2 Luke Cage, and he is going to die very fast, as you can see. He's melting very quickly, and Luke is just amazing for Sasquatch, because Sasquatch cannot gain wrath charges when he has an exhaustion on him, and all Luke has to do is use a light attack, and he has an exhaustion on the opponent. So you're going to see, this is legitimately like the fastest Sasquatch takedown I've ever seen coming from a champion who's playing a rank behind. That was only 44 seconds. Absolutely beautiful. So next up, we're going to fight Serpent. I've uploaded this video as a solo video before, but I never did commentary over it, so you can get some commentary here. But there's two different ways you could take this fight. One is going to be the way I do it, where I just play against Serpent normally. The second would be where you push Serpent to SP3s and utilize your Sig ability to just tank the SP3, and then he doesn't gain the power gain afterwards because the exhaustions just make it not matter. And at that point, you haven't taken a lot of damage because you're indestructible for the SP3 and don't take a bunch of block damage from the SP2. So either way, we're going to take it this way, where I get the concussions up and bait Serpent's special attacks. So either way, either one works, and in some ways one might be better than the other. But I'm just going to go for the Luke nuke here, where I just kind of do the SP2 and then go for some SP1s. And Serpent, he would have his resistance up now, but the concussion failed that. And also, you can just go for 2 concussions to guarantee the failure of Serpent's death immunity. I only went for 1, so it was a 50-50 on whether it triggers or not, but we got lucky. So in hindsight, I would just go for a second SP2 to place a second concussion. That should be able to cover it. But either way, now we're going to fight Corg. And this is another one I've done a solo video of. This Corg has recoils, but it still works even if they don't have recoils, as you can see, because Luke has a bunch of counter tools for this fight. Basically, it's just going to get to the SP2 and then the fight's over. And Luke has a really good light attack for intercepting. I say that as I mess up, but I expected the AI to dash at me, and they didn't. But it's all good. We just want to get his rock shield down. And then once the concussion up, Corg's threats are turned off, because Corg is very subject to ability accuracy, so at that point, it's not that hard. So we're just going to throw an SP2. We have enough concussions to gain enough exhaustions to get a full potency concussion up, and now we're just failing the thorns from triggering. We have a sunder up to blast through Corg's crit resistance. We're failing his purify. Like, everything in the fight is just shut down to that point. And I know the fight was faster because they were running recoils, but legitimately it shouldn't be more than like 70 seconds if they don't. So next up, we're going to fight a Dr. Doom, and this is another fight Luke kind of just shuts down, which is kind of his thing. He just kind of like shuts down the defender and makes it to where they can't really do anything, where their threats just don't get turned on. And in Doom's case, it's Aura, but I'm pretty sure exhaustion cuts off Aura. We're going to see later if that actually happens. I really don't remember. But I know concussion for sure will shut off Aura, because if he doesn't have any ability accuracy, he can't turn it on. And just like that, the fight's over after we drop the SP2. So he does have his crit resist until we get the Sunder up, but we kill him before we even get the Sunder up because of the burst damage and stuff. So plenty of extra overkill damage if we needed it, but we didn't even need it. So 45-second Doom takedown. Pretty nice. And then next up, we're going to fight a Killmonger. And this one, like the Corg matchup, there's just some certain utility pieces that Luke has to where he can take some skilled defenders. And Killmonger is definitely one of them, I think. Basically, exhaustions, they reduce Killmonger's ability power rate. So once that starts getting into the negatives, it's really fun. It's also inequity, which is really nice for Killmonger's reverb. And you also have Sunder to blast through Killmonger's crit resist. You also have concussion to make it to where I think he doesn't gain power. I think he can still reverb you, but he can't gain power from debuffs or something. So I dropped the SP2 into reverb, which I should have just waited out, but it's not too big a deal. Anyway, if I hit into his block, I'd have a high chance of failing the unstoppable from triggering. And here, I should have not hit him there. I didn't know in the fight that reverb would not be shut down by concussion. But now that I know that, I need to just play a bit more passively in that state. And at this point, we're just going to go for like the stun lock kill. Reverb is going to come back, so I'm going to lose a little bit of health at the end, but he's almost dead there. We finish at 80% health, which is not that bad for a Killmonger, especially when you're using a science champ. So anyway, we're going to fight a rank 3 Onslaught next, so another fight where I'm playing a rank behind. But Luke will eventually, once he gets the SP2 active, he's going to stop Onslaught from triggering his Crush. He's going to stop Onslaught from triggering Neuroshocks. It's going to be a pretty good time from there. Obviously, there's that small 25% chance of those things happening. But I'm still going to fight Onslaught like I normally would. So if Crush doesn't trigger, then, you know, I would be playing like I'm expecting it to trigger still. Because it's Onslaught, I'm just going to be baiting a bunch of SP1s anyway, especially when I'm not very confident about the SP2 decks myself. And I know this is the meta where you gain some Furies. The Furies aren't that big in comparison to Luke because of the fact that he's increasing his attack in so many ways, so a Fury doesn't really do much for him. But it is definitely there, so it's a little bit extra damage, but not too much extra to where it really makes a difference in this fight. So again, we just consistently bait SP1s. I'm not pushing Onslaught to SP2 that much because I'm not very confident in the decks, and there's also a small 25% chance that he triggers the Delirium, which has happened to me before doing this matchup, so it is a little frustrating and I don't want to deal with it again. But we're just going to go for the kill just like that. The SP1 lock finishes the fight off. So again, another fight where we were punching a rank behind, and then we get the solo in about under 70 seconds, which for Onslaught is not bad at all, especially when you're playing a rank behind. So I'm definitely happy with how that one went. Now we're going to fight a Dust, another fight we're playing a rank behind, rank 3 Dust. And you get the SP2 up, fight's over. That's just the thing. That's Luke's thing. In the meantime, we're just going to build up to SP2 with exhaustions and light attacks and all the fun things. Dex the SP1. I didn't mean to block there, but it's okay. Get a nice intercept there. And then need to go for another intercept if I can help it. Got one right there. And I'm going to go for the Relic into a Heavy. I want that Debilitate up just to extend the duration of all of my debuffs, especially the Concussion. But we're going to get the Concussion active. It's only a 60% concussion, but that's fine. We don't really need a lot of extra ability extra reduction on Dust because we just want to keep the sand manageable. We don't need to fail it every time. So once we get 6 exhaustions, which we have right there, we have the crit resist, or the Sunder up to remove the crit resist. And now we can just stun lock her to death. So again, Luke's stun lock is just really nice. It doesn't work for every defender because obviously health pools are different, resistances are different and such. But it works very, very often. So that's another one where it did. And then that Dust went down in 64 seconds, punching a rank behind. So next up, we're going to fight Longshot. Longshot obviously has increased ability accuracy. So this is kind of not relying on the concussion in this fight. So the strengths of this fight, Luke is bleed immune. If you eat an SP1 somehow, you don't take damage. Also, you have the Sig ability to not take damage as well. You also just have the ability to, if he is in his Pure of Hearts, the Power Steal he gets, exhaustions take care of it. And also, Luke just does damage, so this Longshot is almost dead already. There, my Sig ability saved me a lot of health there. It's so good, man. And I'm going to drop the SP2. It doesn't kill. It doesn't, but he's almost dead. So I get an intercept there, and then Longshot's dead. So Longshot's not much of a defender, but also 41 seconds is still pretty good. So last up, we're going to fight this Kindred here. And this matchup actually took me a little bit while to get correct for some reason. I'm not exactly sure why, but it's largely just, hey, get to SP2, double concussion him, he can't activate roots, and then you're just chilling. So fight Kindred normally, and then once you're long enough into the fight to where you know the outbreak is gonna trigger pretty soon, well, actually he's dead too fast. So this Kindred is running the recoil mastery for some reason, but you get the gist of it. You just fight Kindred normally, and then the root you don't even have to save a special for because you just cancel it out. So that's going to be my Luke Cage video. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this one. I know there's a lot of people who aren't that interested in Luke out there, but I hope this video maybe changed your mind a little bit at least. And do comment your thoughts below in the comment section. So I'll see you in the next one.